Well, good afternoon, guys. How you doing today? Thanks for being here. What I want to talk to you guys about today is your high carbon blade in a wet environment, saltwater environment, maybe in a blizzard, rain, something like that. You're out in nature, camping, hiking, or in that hypothetical survival situation we all like to hypothesize about, and you don't have any vinegar with you or any real good ways to prevent corrosion on your blade. What is a good option out there? Now with me, this thought process started when watching season 1 of Alone. One of the first things that crossed my mind was, man, I bet you they're having a hard time keeping those blades from getting all rusty, and just knife maintenance would be a chore in that kind of situation. So it kind of got the wheels turning in my head, thinking, if I was in that situation, how would I deal with it? Well, today I want to show you what I came up with, and it actually works really well. In today's example, we're going to be using sumac berries. This can be done with oak leaves or acorns, basically anything you find in nature that has tannins in it. That's right, tannins like you would use to naturally tan a deer hide or something like that. But like I said, in today's example, we're going to be using sumac berries. They're prevalent this time of year, and more often than not on YouTube, when you see sumac berries being highlighted, it's typically people making a lemonade substitute. And I wanted to highlight this plant because it's a plant that I became fascinated with in reading about it over this last year or so. I'm just to brush on it. Native American Indians used sumac berries, whether you staghorn sumac, smooth sumac. The list goes on. There's several different variations, but most of those berries can be utilized in the same way, regardless of whichever kind of tree they came off of. Now, it does make a great lemonade substitute. I'm not taking away from that at all, but I wanted to kind of broaden the subject of using sumac in other ways. Tribe depending, the Native American Indians used sumac berries in other parts of the sumac tree, whether it be inner bark, outer bark, part of the root system. Even in some cultures or tribes, they use the wood itself for many medicinal purposes. But anyway, I'm not going to go over all that today. Specifically, what I wanted to talk about is using sumac berries, which have a high concentration of tannins in them, to boil them down, concentrate the tannins, and make tannic acid, which can be used in a pinch to force a patina on a high carbon blade. But before we jump right into this and get started, I do want to say, now that I've mentioned the Native Americans using the sumac berries and other parts of the plant medicinally, I do plan to kind of delve into that in future videos, but I don't want this video to be too terribly long, and using this to force a patina on a knife is really outside the realm of medicinal purposes. With the exception of Native American Indians did make tannic acid, even though I'm not sure they knew that's what it was, to treat like fever blisters, cold sores, used it as an antiseptic, stuff like that. So anyway, first step in making tannic acid is you have to collect the berries. Alright folks, well after you gather your berries, all you have to do at that point is start a fire, whether it be in a stove or open fire or whatever. Put some water on to boil that has your sumac berries in it. Boil that water down until it gets low, add some more water to it, and just repeat that cycle several times. And through that process, the acidity level in that mixture will increase to the point where it will actually react to a high carbon steel blade or whatever you're putting in there to force patina on, and that will in turn create a corrosion resistant barrier between that metal and the environment. Alright guys, this is Primal Edge Raven. As you can tell, it's well used. It's got some blood patina on it already. But let's give it a go. We're just going to pop it in there and soak it just like a regular vinegar patina. But I am going to leave it longer because this is not quite as acidic as vinegar is. Now I am purposefully leaving about a quarter of the blade outside of the tannic acid mixture or whatnot. That way we can kind of see a before and after effect of this. Alright guys, well it has been probably about an hour, hour and a half, something like that. The mixture is nice and cooled down now. As you can see, you do have bubbles forming, not like if you were using vinegar or something like that, but there is bubbles forming, which means there is a reaction going on in there. Let's go ahead and pull this out and see what we have. Looking pretty good. Let me clean this blade up and get you a closer look at it. Alright guys, there is the end product. As you can see, we have the before here and then the after here with a forced patina. And this was done with nothing more than sumac berries. Boil them down, turn it into tannic acid, and there you have it. It is a little bit slower process than forcing a patina with vinegar or mustard or something like that. but as you can see, it works really well. And you can do this exact same process with using acorns, oak leaves, basically any vegetation you find that has tannins in it. Just boil it down to create an acidity level that is strong enough to react with your high carbon blade. Well guys, I don't know about you, but I'd say that turned out pretty good. Well, it's a fairly simple process. It does take more time than using white vinegar or mustard or something like that. But if you're out in a situation where you don't have any other way to force a patina on your knife as a corrosion resistance or preventative, it works really well. And you do have that side effect that you can use that same tannic acid. I would suggest removing what you want to use medicinally before you put your knife blade in there, because that will change the pH of it some. But you have something to put on, if you have fever blisters, cold sores, if you want to use antiseptic on I wouldn't suggest using it on a burn, but small scrapes, cuts, scratches, stuff like that. Anyway folks, thank you very much for being here today. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you have as well. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit that thumb up for me. And also guys, be sure to hit the comment section. This should be a good conversation starter, so let's just talk about it, guys. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more of what's coming down the pipeline on this channel. Anyway, again, thank you very much for being here, and I will see you next time.